Hi there, this is Cheryl with So Glue and Cheryl 2. We're going to give it a minute to let people join. I'm going to refresh and get my comments going on my laptop. Okay, so we're all set there. We'll give it a minute or two to let some people join. If you see the red live at the top of your, I think it's the top left of your screen, then you've caught me live. If not, hashtag replay in the comments and let me know that you are here. We're going to give it a minute. I'm going to resin the tray. Hi, Chris. It's good to see you. Glad you could join me. I did manage to get the Telegram set up, and I'll probably repeat this a few times. So if you do the chat bot exclamation Telegram, ooh, I didn't realize that. And I'm sorry if you could hear that. That was the cricket running in the background. So I'm going to need that here. See? Get it. Okay. All right. I think that's going to work for what I need to do. Perfect. Okay. That's for project number 2. I have to do the same thing. I have to write I got Post-it notes all over the place. You know, I have a little book that's like a cheat book aside of me, so that if for some reason I have terrible recall, I have to go and look at my little notes to remember whose name is whose. So I wanted to give it just a minute or two before I dive deep into the resin. So I want to give it another minute or two. I also created, in my infinite wisdom, yeah. I created an exclamation Amazon, so that if you want to go in and see, I created an Amazon list. And so, for a lot of the supplies that I use. And so I just built a list of a lot of the stuff that I've purchased over the last couple years, that I could still have access to from Amazon. And I put that into a shared public list that you guys can take a look at. I don't get paid. I don't get anything from Amazon, or any of the products that are there. I just, these are some of the things that I use that help make things easier for me. And if it's something that you're interested in, or you want to try this resin, it is on that hashtag Amazon, or not hashtag, I'm sorry, exclamation Amazon. I got to get used to saying exclamation Amazon in order to do that. So Telegram, exclamation Telegram will get you the link to sign up for the Telegram notifications. And then, but the one thing that you do have to do, which I don't know if everybody realizes, but you have to set on your phone, you have to turn on the notifications. So even if you have like the notifications for Facebook or the notifications for Telegram, you have to turn on your phone the notifications. I figured that one out on my own. The hard way. All right. See, I don't know. I know Debbie wanted to join from Witchcraft, like WHICH craft, but I don't see anybody else on, so I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I guess everybody can watch the replay, or I'll repeat myself a little bit later. I spent quite a bbit of time going through a variety of different resin products on, like on Amazon, Google, you name it. I did all of the research that I could to kind of check out. And the one that seemed to be the best option, especially for indoors, closed spaces where you don't have a lot of the smell, is this craft resin. It's an epoxy resin, and it says it's odorless, but it also has food safe. And and if you're just coming in, come in and say hi and let me know that you're here. But this is a resin that I am going to use because it's food safe and it dries clear. It's going to take 24 hours to set. So this is the one that I chose because once it's applied, it says it has a UV protectant, which means it won't yellow over time, and it's heat resistant, because not with this tray being gifted off, even though I'm going to give best recommendations, I never know, what the person who is receiving it is, because it's going to go as a white elephant gift. You just never know. And so I wanted to get as many things within the resin that are the biggest bang for the buck. So, and if you're just coming in, come in and say hi and let me know that you're here. I created a couple. If you want to get notified for me a little bit easier, if the Mr. Facebook doesn't, do a good job of notifications, you can do !telegram on my chat bot, and that will give you a telegram that you could subscribe to get the notifications. Just don't do like what I did and forget to turn on the notifications on your phone, because then it doesn't notify you. But come in, say hi, let me know that you're here. I'm going to be working with some resin today. This is new resin to me. I have been using UV resin, so I have a little bit of experience with that. But we're going to see what it does. I'm going to put it on this tray, and I'll share with you. There I have an Amazon chat bot that will give you a link to my Amazon list of craft supplies that I have been using over the last few years of crafting, and this epoxy resin is on it. It is by Craft Resin. They give you a nice little guide if you haven't experienced using resin before, and I chose it because it's food safe. It doesn't yellow in UV. It is clear. So when it sets and dries, it is to be clear, and it's also heat resistant. So all of those things were positives when it came to doing a plate. So let me show you what I have first. So I have this. Well, okay, that's what you get for not having a lot of space. So I have this tray. It is a leveling tray, and you can see it has a little leveling bubble in it. It is manual. It is not something that, so once you know what surface you're going to be doing your epoxy resin on, you can use this tray to help you. And what it does is it just makes so that your resin, when you pour it, it's level. Okay. And then what I ended up doing is I just put a paper towel down, and then I'm using a silicone mat that I got in the kit that came for the UV resin. In this nice little kit, they give you the light and a few little things, and this mat. So I wanted to make sure I had the mat. Let me grab everything that fell over here, because I have a stack. I have the next project. Once we pour the resin, that's going to be kind of it for this, because then I'm going to move it over to a little table that I set over here so that I could set the resin out of the way, because it's going to take 24 hours to dry, but it's supposed to dry clear, and it will then protect the artwork on the tray. So this I did on a live when did I do this? Earlier this week? No, over the weekend. I did this over the weekend. So it is a bamboo tray that we found at Ross on sale. It was like $5. And then I decoupaged some music. It's a hymn. This is Just a Closer Walk with Thee across the top. And the image that I had was showing some of the wood. So I just decoupaged some of the paper from the sheet music, and then I decoupaged the image. The image is something that I created from AI, just kept manipulating. I had an idea, I put the idea in, and then I started changing it to my liking, and it just uses the simple language to be able to create the image. It's not for everyone, but I have a graphic design background. I went to school for graphic design, so I have some of that knowledge on how to achieve that. And yes, you have to be careful. I think I was warned by Sybil with Subscraft Shack that it does use some people's images, so you have to be careful on that, because you don't want to deal with any copyright challenges. So this is just printed on a regular copier paper. I have a laser printer, and then I ended up decoupaging that onto the tray. Now I'm at the point where I'm ready to use the resin. And so in the resin box, in this particular box and kit, it gives you a little stir stick, which helps you kind of keep the resin mixed up together. They give you a pair of gloves, only one pair though, because the bottle is pretty big. It is, does it say how many fluid ounces is on it? It doesn't. So I would guess it's more than 12 fluid ounces. And there's no way I'm going to use all 12 fluid ounces. Hi, Sue. Thank you for coming in. I let everybody know earlier that I have a chat bot now that's !Telegram. If you want to join the Telegram channel, then I'll send notifications out far enough in advance that you'll know I'm going live. And I also, for a lot of the supplies that I created an Amazon chat bot link to take you to a link for Amazon. I do not get paid by Amazon. I do not get paid for any of the products that I have on that list. It's just goodwill and sharing information to help you guys with some of the stuff that I use. So with that, I have a silicone cup. I've seen crafters use plastic cups and they just throw them away. I'm somewhat conscious. I try not to fill the landfills with unnecessary, but there's no judgment on anybody else who just uses the plastic cups to throw them away. But I thought, if I got a silicone one, it's easy to clean out. You can even let it dry and it'll pull out. But a lot of times I'll just wipe it out with, I have some paper towels here to wipe it out. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this aside for just a second. And we're going to put our gloves on, and then we'll start the process of mixing. If you've never used resin before, it comes in two parts, a part A and a part B. And so they recommend that you follow the A and the B, or the 1 and the 2. Whichever brand you buy, they have them labeled differently. The first is the epoxy, and then the second is the hardener. So I am going to guess at about how much. So on here, the lowest mark is probably the mark I am going to go by. Let's see if they have, oh, yeah. The nice thing is that when they ship it, it's like double sealed. So it's got this plastic, there we go. So this just pulls out. It's like a cork. So I really like that feature of this particular product. So in order to keep it, because I am super clumsy. You've seen me. Sometimes I can be a hot mess. And so I thought that's probably a good idea to put back in the side and then put my lid back on. And that way I have no risk. So you have to do 1 to 1, one part. So it's equal of both. And so I'm going to do up to the first line of part A. Whoops. And I over poured, of course. So let me take a look. It poured a little bit faster than I had intended. Oh, it's still quite a bit. Some products are a little bit thicker, and so they pour a lot slower. But, oh, hi, husband. My husband's on. Okay, I think it's kind of hard to see from the angle that I'm at, but I think that that's at the right. Okay, so I'm just gonna get the lid on that one because the messy crafter, I should have named myself Messy Crafter altogether instead of, but okay, so we'll pull this one out. Now this is the hardener, and you have to do equal parts. So I'm going to go up to and I don't know how much it's going to take. Nice gloves. Thank you. These are the gloves that came in the epoxy container. Okay. And this is supposed to be a little bit thicker to pour, so. Oh, it is. Much thicker. Okay, so I have to go 1 to 1 for the resin. Okay. All right. We'll put the lids back on because before you know it, I will have a mess. Okay. And then it says that lid got all over, so I want to clean that up a little bit. Okay. So I have this little stick that it gave me. Hey, Judith. Okay. So now that you have the two parts, you're supposed to stir it for about 3 minutes. So what I did go ahead and set a timer on my old device here. So we're going to stir for 3 minutes. And so I've watched other crafters do this, and they, you have to kind of scrape the edges of the cup, but you have to stir it for 3 minutes to make sure that it's fully stirred and activated. And once it's stirred and activated, then you can pour it. And we'll see. I may have more than what I need. It's just hard to tell with a tray. So I am going to just keep mixing. If you're curious about the epoxy, I created an exclamation, like a chat bot that you can type in exclamation, no space, Amazon. That is on I created a public list that you can check out, and if it's something you want to try, the resin, go for it. It has those items, that resin items that I purchased on there. And also I went ahead and added like some of the stuff that, as far as glues and things like that, that I've used in the past. So, you can do !Amazon. I also created a Telegram channel to notify. So if you want to subscribe to my Telegram, the chat bot is !Telegram. There's no space between the exclamation and the Telegram. And that way I can notify you. You'll get notified in advance notice that I'm going live. So let's see how we're doing on time. It just seems like forever when 3 minutes and you're trying to. So you're supposed to stir it slow. I am not that patient because I just realized that if you stir it slow, that it doesn't put as many air bubbles in it. But you know what? I've already created lots of air bubbles in it. So once you pour it in, and you get it where you want it, then we can use the hot glue, or the heat gun. The heat gun will actually help pop any bubbles that are in when it's the epoxy is laying down. So, and I am using, I don't have any hands right now, but I am using a product called Craft Resin. I've never used it before, but it says it's no odor, which they're absolutely right. You have to be careful with some of those odors because I'm not in a ventilated room. And it is food safe. Okay, so we can stop. It says it's food safe, and it also says it doesn't yellow under UV light. And not only that, but it says it is heat resistant, which I'm going to give recommendations for the person that receives this plate on like how to clean it and what have you. But it's one of those things that you can't always guarantee that the person is going to follow your best recommendations. So, all right. So I am going to pour just a light, not a very thick coating over it. Now this tray has a lip, which is going to be extremely helpful in keeping the resin from going over the edges. And I may have a little bit more than I need, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do is, let me set that there. I have this little tool that came in the UV resin, and I'm going to use it because it's just flimsy silicone, but it'll allow me to kind of help drag the resin where I need it, because I don't want it to be super thick on the tray. So I am just helping kind of spread it. It looks like I might need a little bit more. In the areas where it's not completely covering. Now I have plenty of time to work. This is not quick setting. I have plenty of time to work with this because it will not set. It takes 24 hours for this to set. But I'm already pleased with the product so far, to be honest, because it's turning out crystal clear, and that's what I want, because I want the image to be visible under the resin. I just want the resin to protect the plate so that whoever receives this as a Christmas gift, we have to go to a Christmas party, and we are like doing a white elephant gift. And so one of the gifts we have figured out, but we needed a second gift because there's 2 of us and we're supposed to bring a gift per person. And so my husband had the brilliant idea, don't get a big head, honey. He had the brilliant idea of doing like the tray. Okay, so now I gotta do is kind of work, which I am gonna have to some of this. Now this silicone, the stick, the silicone spatula thing, and the cup are all easy clean items with resin. You can let the resin sit and let it dry, and you can peel it out of the cup, or you can wipe it out. They'll be fine. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I just poured it around, and I'm sorry if I'm missing comments. Can you use a little paintbrush to spread the resin, or it will leave? No, it won't leave streak. You can, but then you just have to throw the paintbrush away because the resin won't come out of the paintbrush. If you use the silicone tools, the resin is easy clean. You can wipe it off. You can let it dry, and it will. Otherwise, your paintbrush is just going to be destroyed because by the time, because you can't necessarily rinse it out with not this stuff. There might be other stuff that is water soluble, but this is not. Okay, so what I am doing is I am just where I can see in the light. I'm pulling the resin up the edge because it has a curve. I am just pulling the resin up on the edge so that the resin covers all the way to the edge of the decoupaged plate, because I want to make sure that that has a good seal. You know, Mod Podge does an okay job, and that triple thick Duraclear that I was using to actually seal it, it does an okay job. It's just something that I want to make sure, especially if somebody is gonna use water to wipe the plate off, hopefully they won't submerge it in water, but I want to make sure that that edge is completely covered. And so I'm just kind of turning it around to where I can see in the light, and I'm just dragging some of that resin to the edge of the plate, because you can see it's the resin itself is like high gloss, so you can see. You haven't used resin before? I've played with the UV. If you are nervous about it, my recommendation would be to try the UV resin. That's how I got started. UV resin starter kit by Let's Resin. And it's also in my exclamation Amazon. And this is where, when I sealed some of the other trays that are just decorative trays, that's what I used. And in that kit, it comes with a little light. So it's, it helped me get more comfortable with it before I started using this is my first time using it, by the way, using this regular resin. And you can kind of see where it's might be just a little thin. So I'm just adding just a little bit to the the areas where I can see that it's thin, especially with me dragging it to the edge. But this leveling table is really helpful. And then you can kind of just use, and I, with the UV resin, I use my finger. But, so I'm just kind of pulling it up to make sure that it catches that decoupaged edge. And I have to go all the way around the plate, but we're about halfway, so I know it's kind of boring to watch me try to do that, but you guys wanted me to do this on a live, so I am doing it on a live. So I'm just dragging right now this around so that it seals that edge. And so far it's looking pretty good. Looks like it's gonna have a high gloss to it. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And well, of course, you know, us being crafters, that's right up our alley, right? Anytime we can make something. But I'm sure that the person who receives this is going to be blessed by it as well. Not that it's because I made it, but because it's handmade. You're right. People appreciate those things a little bit better than just a store-bought thing. And so we, my husband wanted to do like a funny gift. So we found a funny item that is a singing pickle or a yodeling pickle. So that item is something that he's going to give, and then we'll gift this tray. We thought we would give some like items to put on it, like a charcuterie type of thing, because the limit is $10 and this tray only cost $5. Well, I mean, minus the resin. Oh, by the way, the resin wasn't super expensive either. It was only, I don't know, it was like $24 maybe, $22. I can't remember for sure, but it wasn't really expensive. So I was really impressed with the price point, because if you look at some of the other price points, whew, they can be a little spendy on resin. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. I mean, yes, there's a lot. See, I only used a part of that, and so I'm going to get lots of projects out of that. But yeah, I couldn't justify spending $50. And I'm like, sorry. And I'm sure that some of them like come in larger containers and things like that, but no, I don't have it to spend. So, especially at Christmas, right, folks? Okay, we are almost there. I can see a couple little areas. Okay. Just want to make sure this side. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set this puppy aside. I did get out a couple. I had bought some silicone molds a long time ago because I was trying. I had seen somebody use the molds for hot glue, and so I had done that, but I ended up getting those out. Okay, I think I got it. Okay, I do see some bubbles. So let's do this. I'm gonna kind of shift this over just a little bit. We're gonna pour the rest of this resin in. Let me wipe this puppy off so I don't have to, I can put it down. Okay, so I have just these real inexpensive molds. One is like holly and holly leaves, and another is like 3 different sizes of bells. And so it's probably not a bad idea if you have molds, pull them out in case if you're doing resin. Of course, yes, he would find a yodeling pickle. I have no idea how he found it. We'll have to, I don't think he came in. I don't know. He might have left again, but we could ask him how he came across the yodeling pickle. So the expensive kind is the artist grade, and that's why the price. And it's perfect for crafting. Yeah. We're going to see. I mean, this claims to be perfect for crafting too. So we're going to see. And then, so Debbie, you said you're making cookies, make cookies or bread and put it on the tray. Oh, yeah. Yes, it is food grade resin. It is, all of the things I want. It's odorless. It's food safe, heat resistant, UV resistant, and it's clear high gloss. And those are the things that I wanted in order to cover the tray. Absolutely wanted it to be food safe because I don't like the idea. And you're right. You know, that's another option if I have time, because it's next week. The Christmas party is next week. So this has got to set, and then I've got to have time, because tomorrow starts the marathon of Christmas parties. Next week we have 2 Christmas parties, and then my son graduates. So we have the graduation and the graduation party. So yeah, there's a lot coming, and I have to get the house cleaned. Yeah, and my husband and I have to get the prayer room put back together. Yeah, I've just been talking too much. So, I'm going to use the rest of the resin and kind of fill up these molds just to use it. I don't want it to go to waste. So I'm going to pour it in these molds, and then I did get out more molds if I need to. These are just little, they're silicone, so I know that they'll handle the resin, but, they were intended for like hot glue. And I guess I overfilled one, so I'm going to have to. Because I'd like to be able to possibly use those on a craft in the future, but I overfilled the last one because it's so small. And I do have more molds that that one I really made a mess of. So I have Christmas trees that came with it in that little same package. I think the package of molds were like $4.99 or something. It was super cheap. Boy, but it seems like the resin's going a long way for what I had left. So eventually I'd like to like get my hands on like some IOD molds or something, but some of that is money. Okay, I'm just filling up the Christmas trees, and wouldn't you know, I still have plenty of resin left. Okay. So there was one more in that package. Is like well, there was actually 2 more. Some bells and like a regular tree. So we'll see. Maybe I can. I've got resin all over one of them, so I was trying to keep that on the silicone mat. But I'll move this down. See if maybe I can try to use up the rest of this resin. in the bells. I'll have plenty of Christmas cast resins for Christmas. If I don't use them this year, I guess we'll have them for next year. But the next thing I'm going to work on today is the sign that we found at the secondhand store that had the word Christ, and then He has risen, and it was all in vinyl, and it was yellow, and it was dirty and yellow. So I don't know, this one has these little, goodness gracious, I feel like the resin has a never-ending bottom. Whoa, 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 whoa. Not much space. I guess I'm going to have to invest in a larger mold. Criminy sakes, because there's still resin left. I know that these aren't very big molds, but doggone. So yes, I am going to use the heat tool. I don't know if this one's going to work or not. This one's got so many fine little tree limbs. But, all right, I'm okay. So I don't have to worry about this too much because it doesn't set for 24 hours. I can do one of two things. I can spend the time a little bit later on and clean out the resin cup. So the brand of resin, where's the box? Oh, here. It is called Craft Resin. And if you want the link that I bought, I do an exclamation Amazon. That gives you a chat bot that gives you a free list of craft items, and the resin is on there. Okay, so I will clean this up a little bit later. I can wipe that down, but this resin is not going to set for 24. It takes 24 hours to set. So what I'm going to do is I don't see tons of bubbles, but I do see a few. Oh, and I see one spot where it looks like that there was a divot. Okay. And so I really am not seeing tons of air bubbles, but I see a couple. So I'm just going to use the heat gun and run it over. Oh, there it goes. I'm going to run it over the top of the tray. The heat, it just draws out the bubbles. And you don't want to get too close, but close enough for it to feel the heat, because that's what causes the bubbles to burst. All right, I think we're good. Okay. All right. So, we're going to see if this messy crafter can move this tray over to the other tray so that I have space to clean. You're going to recommend, oh yeah. So you used the artist grade on your paintings, but it's not necessary for crafting. Yeah. Yes. This, so far, I'm liking. It's been easy to use. It's odorless, which can be a concern, especially for the resin, because as you start mixing, it creates a chemical, but I smell nothing when it comes to the mixture when I'm mixing it. And then, so far, it's been aces, and I don't see any air bubbles. I could probably go over them. I don't see any air bubbles in the... Some of them I overfilled, so I'm probably going to have to sand them after I get them. Because there is some resin that is dripping off the edge. So I want to just be careful because the tray that it's on is a leveling tray, but I don't know if it has a coating on it, like a silicone coating, to where the resin would come off of it or not. I don't know. So, okay. Let's clean up. Okay, so here we go, folks. Hold your breath for me. Okay, nice and easy, steady. Okay. Just setting it over here, out of the way. And then that way, I can craft. I'm going to take those gloves. Ooh, they're seriously hot. My hands were sweating. Okay. All right, so if you are just joining me, I just used the craft resin. Exclamation Amazon will give you the links to that. Okay, so I'm going to stick this back in here and put this away. And we'll get out. All right, and get out my Lazy Susan. And the puppy mat. I think I'm going to use this puppy mat until it like completely falls apart. I probably should have changed it out, but okay, so the next thing I'm going to work on, I don't know if for those of you that joined me a few days ago when we did on Saturday evening, when I was so excited from the haul from the secondhand store. This was, I don't know if anybody remembers it, but this was the sign that had in vinyl, had the words Christ, He is risen. And you can't really see, well, maybe you can with that. You can see how yellow it is. And it's not a trendy color nowadays. So, Judith, you say you're working on making labels for your body butter while you're watching. Awesome. Well, you are welcome to, if you have a Facebook page for your beauty products, you're welcome to share yourself into my friends group, Friends of So Glue and Cheryl too. And that will give you an additional audience that you can possibly sell your products to. I am just, so when I took the vinyl off, it looks like, because it's so old, there was a little bit of residual sticky from the vinyl. So I was just rubbing it with my thumb to kind of get some of the extra sticky off. Now, what my thought is, we're going to try it and see. I have, so my husband has chose a Bible verse that he wants to use. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this board an off-white. Hopefully the exclamation Amazon will work. This is the first time I set something like that up. So if it doesn't work, Debbie, let me know. And I will, because I can't tell if it shows up for you or not. Oh yeah. Thanks, Chris. So I'm thinking about painting it off-white. So the Bible verse that was chosen is Matthew 37, or Matthew chapter 22, verse 37, it says, love your God with all of your heart, all of your soul, and with all of your mind. And this is the verse he wants to fit on this teeny tiny little plaque. So I thought if I painted this with an off-white, I spent the time on the Cricut printing out in bright white, because I only have 2 colors of vinyl, which is bright white and black. So I thought if I did a bright white against it with the cream, it would just barely show if you looked at it maybe the right way. And then put the Bible verse, the love your God part, all in black lettering. And the letters have to be kind of small because of the fact that there's a lot of words. But I just had cut that on the Cricut. So we're going to see how it goes. We're just going to roll with it. Okay. So the chalk paint that I have is plaster. It's Waverly plaster. So it's off-white chalk paint. No, my son is not home from break yet. He doesn't finish until he said he had assignments that were due actually after he graduates on the 20th. But I think he's planning on getting everything done. This week is the last week of classes. Next week is finals. And then he graduates on Saturday. So they are really cutting it close because next week is the full week before Christmas. So yeah, he is still in classes, and he did stop by yesterday. So he lives in he's going to the university, BSU, Boise State University, in the same town. It's in Boise, and but it's across town, so it's 20 to 30 minutes drive depending upon traffic. And so he referees for high school basketball, and so he was refereeing over in this area and stopped by last night to say hi. Oh, you were thinking that he had just started, Chris? No, he is actually graduating, and he is super happy about that. Well, and I have to say, his dad and I are very happy about it too, because tuition is not cheap nowadays. And so, and both his dad and I went to school and ended up having loans to pay for our school. And so one of the things that we had always told ourselves and we had agreed when we first got married, that any kids that we have, we would pay for their college so that he could, and he ended up being the only son. We only have one, and probably thank goodness, because college is so expensive nowadays. I don't know if we had more than one kid, we'd be able to do that. But fortunately, God gifted us the opportunity and the ability to be able to pay for his college. So we did. Over the last 4.5 years, we paid for his college. He would have only have had to go 4 years, but he changed majors. So it set him back by 1 semester. Fortunately, it didn't set him back any further than 1 semester. So he changed majors because he didn't care. So he was in kinesiology originally. It's a joyous day for them. You paid for your daughter as well? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I think we're not going to know what to do with all that extra cash now that well, I guess we pay for my husband's school still. We have to pay that in January. And then after January, that will be paid off. We still have a little bit that we have to cover for his mission trip, because not every, we didn't end up making much on some of the fundraising efforts that it's just a tough time, it's a tough year, and it's just a tough time of year. So we still have to make up a little bit of money for his fundraising, but and that's for the mission trip. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, he has to go on a mission trip, and that is because that's mandated by his school, that he has to go on a mission trip. It doesn't matter which one. They had several options, but the one that we opted for him to go on was a little less expensive than some of the other ones. They have a global missions team that sends people all over, and this year they opted to go to India and Pakistan, and those were pretty expensive trips. So the one he's going to is in Kauai. So he's going to go and bless the villagers of a small village that's the farthest west on the island of Kauai, that is the most poverty-stricken. So once we can get those two things taken care of, then we might be, feeling like we're rich. Okay. I think this is going to require a couple coats, because I can see some of the yellow still showing through. So let's dry it real quick. I'll do a second coat, and then we'll start working with the vinyl. Yeah, I told him what a tough gig, going to Kauai, but they're not gonna have, so they sleep under the stars. Yeah, they'll have bug nets that they sleep in. Yeah, there's not a lot of fancy accommodations. They're not staying in a big hotel. The church is that our church has a relationship with the church there in Kikahana, and or Kikaha, however, Kikaha, I don't know how you pronounce it, but they have an outbuilding that they will stay in. Oh yes, he would. Grandpa Chuck would be quite proud. So Grandpa Chuck is my husband's stepdad. He passed away a couple years ago, in April. So he would be very proud. He's probably up there in heaven, smiling down on Doyle. So, but anyway, so yeah, they have to go, and it's a small village of 3,000 people, and it is, I guess, it's the most poverty-stricken area. I mean, I know we all have poverty kind of things, but this is pretty bad, because you know how expensive it is to go to Hawaii just to go on vacation, right? Well, the people that live there can't afford to live in their homes, because the average home price is $1.2 million. So you can't, with an average income of $41,000, you can't afford a home. So if you either own the home, you have multiple generations living there to try to help pay for the mortgage, or you rent out all of the extra rooms so that you can put that money toward the mortgage. So they have multiple families living in homes, in dwellings. A lot of them often are in disrepair, because they can barely afford to pay for their homes and put food on the table, let alone repair the homes. And it just so happens that my husband has a handyman job and a lot of skills in that area. So he's going to be going to help bless them. And then they are also going to do some work in the neighborhood, because as of any area, when there's a lot of children and youth, there a lot of drugs and alcohol that are there. And so they want to go and give them some other things. The last time our church went there, they built a basketball court for the youth to be able to spend time at. And that way it gives them something else to do other than to go drink and do drugs or sell drugs. So they're coming up with different things to be able to keep the children and the youth busy in that community so that they stay out of trouble and stay out of drugs and alcohol. So I am just going to go over it with a light coat one more time with this plaster, chalk paint, and then what we will do is I'll get it dried, and then I spent the afternoon running the Cricut so that I could get the vinyl lettering cut out to be able to complete the sign. But the first coat, for some reason, the yellow was still kind of showing through. So I wanted to make sure that it was truly the off-white. And then we'll see once we start putting the white lettering on if there's a big difference or not. I may have to pivot and do something different, but we shall see. Okay. See if I can do that without sticking my fingers in it. And putting on the... Hi, Janet. We went... Oh, yes. Yes, my father-in-law. Yes. He definitely was an angel. And you'll hear me talk about Brandy. I think she's sleeping on the floor in the other room right now, but Brandy was his dog. And so right now, Janet, so we just poured the resin for the tray, and I used this craft resin product. And so if you are interested in seeing how I did that and kind of what I did, it was my first time using it. Not my first time using resin, because I've used the UV resin, but the first time using a 24-hour set resin. I chose that brand because of the fact that it's odorless and it's food safe, so that this is going to be a gift, so I wanted to be able to have something that people could put food on it and be able to use it. So I'm going to dry this. We're working on the sign. I don't remember, Janet, if you were here the day that I was showing my thrift finds. This was the sign that was yellow, and it had the word Christ across it, and then He is risen in black. But the yellow was very, very dirty and so out of, you know what, I'm wondering, well, I could, you know what, I really could. I could crackle this. Yeah, we'll just go with it. We'll see. I guess if it doesn't work out, then I can change it. I can remove the vinyl, and we can start over, and I can crackle it. Because had I thought about that sooner, that might have been a good option. But I didn't prepare for that. I have, it's on the exclamation Amazon link. Did that end up working? Did anybody happen to see, did the link show up for that? So I turned it on, so hopefully it showed up. But the chatbot exclamation, Amazon is my Amazon list that has all of the resin products on it. And I don't get paid by Amazon. I don't get paid by the products that are in that list. They're just strictly to share knowledge in the crafting community. It's not quite dry. And then I did create a exclamation Telegram so that if you want to join my Telegram link, you can get the notifications. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, if you don't like it, you can do it over again. I've had a few pieces that I've changed up and started over. So I'm just trying to get this paint to dry before I start applying the vinyl. Making sure that it's dry. Look at that. After I have resin, I have like, about a centimeter of resin in the bottom of the cup after, but that's okay. I am not so cheap that I am gonna go after that because I don't have any more molds. Okay. All right, so I got the board cleared. Let's see. Okay, so this is just white vinyl, and yeah, I know you can't see the letters on it. It's really hard. It's just white vinyl that I cut. It's Cricut vinyl that I bought. Yeah, you can't see. It's kind of hard to see the letters because the letters are white. I don't know. There you go. Maybe a little bit. But it's white letters that this is off-white. This is a plaster color, the color plaster from the Waverly, the Waverly chalk. And so it's off-white. I'm hoping that the, so no space between exclamation and Amazon. There should not be a space. Oh, there you go. There's something that came up. Oh, that's that. Oh, yeah. So there's no space between exclamation and Amazon. Hopefully that will come up for you so you can get that. It is like bright white vinyl. And so I cut this on my Cricut and I weeded it and all of the things ahead of time to work on this. My husband chose the verse. So now what I am doing is this is clear, like shelf paper, and I bought it at the dollar store many years ago when things actually cost $1. There you go. So that should be, and that has a list of all of the stuff that I use regularly for crafting. I just thought it would be handy if people are interested. So instead of using transfer paper or special Cricut transfer stuff, this just works exactly the same way. And so you can't just pick up the stickers vinyl if you've used a Cricut before. Okay. So did that, because it's showing up on my side, the link. Is the link not working, or is the actual chat bot not working, because I can see it showed up on my end. Are you not seeing it, Debbie? If not, I can reach out to you individually and I'll write myself a note. And I'll message you and share the link if you can't see that, because I can see it popped up on my side, but I don't know if you're able to see it. But this is just transparent, like clear shelf paper. And like I said, I bought it at the dollar store. So the link itself is not working. Okay, thank you, Janet. So Debbie and Janet, and if there's anybody else that wants, I will get a new link. It's hard to know. Okay, thank you. And I will message you guys directly. Okay, so the Bible verse that my husband chose was Matthew 22, verse 37. And it's, love the Lord your God with all of your heart, with all of your soul, and with all of your mind. And so what I was thought to do was put the Matthew, or M-A-T-T, 22:37. Hopefully my letters are not too big. So I'm just going to use this clear paper as my transfer sheets, because it's not overly sticky, and that's why I like it. But what I have to do is I have to, so I'm going to just do one letter at a time. I'm going to put this on my vinyl and use it as my transfer paper, but I'm going to burnish it down to my vinyl. So that when I lift it up, oh, I didn't get that burnished. It should. Except for the problem is I got a big piece and now it's sticking to everything else. Let's take care of that. Let me cut off the extra so that it's just easier to work with. And that way so if you have a Cricut, or you've never used a Cricut and you get a Cricut, this is just an inexpensive way of not having to pay. I did buy the Cricut brand of vinyl. Okay, let's see. I'm just trying to burnish it down. Hopefully it will come up. It has in the past. It just... Oh, there we go. Okay. So I'm just carefully pulling the M up. Once I pull it up off of the paper, you'll see there's the M. And so what I want to do is I want to put M. I may end up, just because it's supposed to be Matthew, maybe I'll do just M-A-T to 22:37, but we'll see what fits, because Matthew is too big. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a real light pencil, and just to make sure that I am on a straight line, because, yeah, I have a tendency to look at things crooked. Is to draw just real lightly a pencil mark where I can erase it at the end. Just so that it is straight across. Because when you lay your vinyl down, I don't always, I mean, you can pull it back up, but it doesn't stick very well then. Okay. Oh, you are late. Sorry. I tried to get in touch with you. I don't know if you got my my message or not. I think that might be too tall. So sorry, Debbie. Okay, hold on. I'm going to move my line a little bit. If the replay has the resin on it, and if you want, I'll write a note for you to, because I did do the chatbot for !Amazon, but apparently the link is not working. And so I just have to probably go back and recopy that from Amazon and update the link so that it works. Sorry about that, guys. This, you know, I do work in the software industry, but sometimes I tell you. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it down just a little bit. I'm just going to put the clear, and it's chalk paint, so the pencil line is going to erase pretty easily. And okay, so now I'm going to take my white vinyl letter. Oh, yes, you did. You answered me. That's right. You went Christmas shopping? Oh. You got lost. Oh, no. That's not good. Okay, so I am just going to place my vinyl lettering down, and then I have one of these little burnishing tools that comes in a Cricut package that I think was gifted to me for a Christmas present or something one year. So I am going to just burnish down the M. And then what should happen is as I slowly pull it off, the shelf paper will leave the M behind. Just have to do it really slow and kind of do it an even pull. Don't go ripping it off. Okay. Now, it's going to be probably really hard for you guys to see. Oh, there you go. You can kind of see the difference. The bright white to the plaster off-white color. I want to do that on purpose. I want that on purpose. I'm doing that because I'm going to put the chapter and the verse, so it's Matthew 22:37 on the back, and then I have black lettering that I cut out that still needs to be weeded, and I'm gonna put the verse, which is gonna take some time, so we won't probably do it today. I'm gonna finish the Matthew, put it on here, and then I can show you guys the end result. This love the Lord your God with all of your heart and with all of your soul and with all of your mind. And so this is intended to go in my husband's prayer room. Okay, so now it's ready for the I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go start back and forth because I don't know if I'm going to be able to put 2 T's or 1 T, because I want to be able to get the chapter and the verse number. So let me grab the 7. Okay, and I'm just going to burnish the paper down. Have any of you guys, do you guys have a Cricut, or has anybody worked with vinyl on a Cricut before? I have the Cricut. I had an old one. I had an old version, and then the neighbor lady down the street gifted me an updated version, which does the online as well as uses the little cartridges. And so they had gifted that to me one year for Christmas many years ago. So now mine is very old, but it's okay because it still works for my needs. All right, so I'm putting the 7 down, doing the same thing. I am just gonna, okay, how did I lose the burnishing tool? Oh, there it is. Heaven's sakes. So I'm just gonna burnish this down real well. And I'm just sitting it on that line that I drew on pencil. Okay, just nice and easy. I'm pulling up the transfer paper, and it leaves the letter behind, or the number in this case. Okay. It's kind of, let's see. There you go. It's a little bit hard to see just the way, but the 7. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to go with the 3 next so that I can make sure that I get the chapter, and then that will tell me if I need, because Matthew can be abbreviated with M-A-T-T, just M-A-T. You have one, you've never used it? So you mean that you, and then Chris, you said you had a Cricut too, and it was still in good shape when you passed it on. Yeah. So Debbie, you have an Explorer 3 that, oh, and your husband just bought you a 4? Oh, a Maker 4? Wow. I don't know. Let me see what mine is. Oh, mine's an Expression 2. That's how old it is. Mine's an Expression 2. So I think, Chris, mine might be the same as yours. But I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And I use it a lot for those scrapbooking pages that I showed you. I have several that I need to cut letters for to finish those pages. And so I'll have to be getting on to that too, but I'm not at risk for my son getting married anytime soon, so I think I'm okay there. Okay. Pulling on it, the vinyl lettering, and it could be just the age of the vinyl too, doesn't like to pull off of the paper very easily, so I have to kind of help it with my finger. Okay, so I'm going to put the 3 right next to the 7, burnish it down, and I'm sorry if this is really boring, folks. I'm like trying to do this quickly because I thought maybe if I did it quickly I might be able to get one of the black lettered words to put on for you so that you could kind of see what it's going to turn out like. I don't think you'll want to stay on with me. It would be like a 10-hour live just for me to be able to get all of the vinyl put down. Yeah, I love my Cricut. And I the first one I had, I gifted it away because I had gotten a second one as a Christmas gift. But man, I telling you, I love, 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 love it. Okay. So I am going to, I keep setting that doggone tool down and I lose it under the paper. The only, I think the only challenge I would say is don't let your vinyl sit around too long. I accidentally bought too much vinyl. And so I have a lot of extra vinyl because I didn't know what I was buying when I bought it, to be honest. All right, so this is supposed to be, these might be awful big for the colon. It came off in my finger, so okay, we'll get the colon in there. I am quickly running out of space. This board is not very big. Okay. I'll show you kind of what it's starting to look like. If you can see it, there you go. It's the colon 37. And I got to put the 22. So it might be close, folks. I may not be able to get all of it. Either that or I'll have the letters overlapping or something. But, okay, I think I got a little bit of the sticky left on this, and then it's gonna be toast. So I'm gonna get the 22. Maybe I can get the 22 together. I'll put them down separately, but we'll pick up the 22 and put it down. So does everybody have their Christmas shopping done? I don't. I'm not normally this bad, but things have just been so busy lately, and adding the extra complication of the graduation and having family come in for that, but they are not staying for Christmas, is just causing a busyness that is not a normal, it's not normally during this time. Okay. So there is one. See, I tell you folks, I am like, I set something down and then it gets covered up and I lose it and then I'm looking for it. Okay. I probably could have moved that colon over a little bit, but oh well. Okay. I'm going to put the 2 down. And then we'll see how much space we have. Okay. It's not looking too bad, but I might be able to get the T in there. Okay, so there you go. It's kind of hard to see directly on because it is white on white ultimately. It's bright white on off-white. But I purposefully did that because what I want to do is I want to have the black letters of the verse show the most. And I just want you to be able to see at it, kind of like that other one that was Christ, He is Risen, except for have the yellow background. And it could have been an off-white background and it just yellowed too. So who knows, but... So Janet, you're not done yet either? Good. You're going to get a couple things for your son and that's it? Yeah. Well, we picked up a few things for my son as well, but I still got others in my life that I gotta shop for. And he's given me one idea, but what do you get of the man who has everything? So, and if he's on here, and if you're still listening, honey, close your ears right now. I don't know if he's still on or not. I think he went back to work. Yeah, so Oh, and I don't know, some of you know, but to adding insult to injury, not only do we have graduation, we have Christmas, but then on December 31st is my birthday, and then on January 1st is his birthday. So for our son, it is a very expensive time of the year for us. Because he gets Christmas, and then he gets birthday right after that. We always try to go, so on like our birthdays, we pick one of the restaurants we like, and then we go. So on New Year's Eve, I like to go to Japanese Steakhouse. It's my favorite food, and I just enjoy the atmosphere, and it's fun on New Year's Eve, right? But we have to make reservations quite a ways in advance, so we'll be doing that soon. And I don't know what my son will choose. He had talked about Cheesecake Factory, but I don't know if he'll do that this year or if he'll pick something different. Because he has in the past always chosen Cheesecake Factory, but I don't know. We told him he doesn't have to choose Cheesecake Factory just to get the cheesecake. We can make arrangements to go get the cheesecake afterwards for dessert. Okay. Yay. At least I'm getting MAT on the board. Okay. But I am going to have to move it over. Ooh, I don't recommend doing that, folks. Partially setting it down. I think I'm going to have to move the T over just a little bit because it's wanting to touch and make the 2 look like it's not a 2. Okay. So I'm going to put that down. And let me see if I can get at least one letter from the black, and then we'll, because I know it's been a little bit that we've been on here. So, okay. So that is all of the white I'm going to put on. I need to get a new piece of transfer. So I will use the piece that I had already cut. Sorry, I'm just trying to move things around. So I need to weed, and that's what it's called when you separate the letters from the vinyl. So give me just a second because I think I left my weeding tool. All right, sorry about that. I hate to do that. I just didn't, I was getting the, so in here, when you're on your Cricut, it's easier to weed if you leave it on your mat, if you haven't worked with vinyl before. And because the sticky of the Cricut mat will hold the vinyl down. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate the black, and it's not wanting to. Let me try it down here to see if I can get a hold of it. Okay. All right, so as you can see, okay, so there's a big chunk of it that is kind of being wasted because of the fact that I was planning on possibly having to cut the letters a little bit larger, but I think anything larger than what I've cut already is not gonna fit on this plaque. So as you start to pull it away, and you have to be really careful. There you go. I just lost the weeding tool, which I'm going to have to dig out. So as you pull away, you can see the letters behind. And you just have to be really careful as you pull, because it's pulling like the centers of the letters other than like the full circle. You'll see here in just a second. Just have to slowly do it because otherwise it will pull your letters. Let's see. Oh, yep. So, as an example, that Y, it wants to pull my Y off. You have to be really, really careful. Okay. And you don't want it to come back on your letters because it will pull them off. Oh, it doesn't look like it cut the Y very well. Okay, hold on a minute. I need to cut this extra away so that I can see what's going on. Because it doesn't look like the Y was trimmed very well. So hold on a minute. You're going to see like the top of my head till I can find the tool wherever it fell. Oh, good. It didn't fall on the floor. It just fell in the trash can. Okay, so we've got to be able to pull. And it doesn't look like it really did a good job of cutting the Y out. So I am just using my fingernail to hold it down, hold the letter down, but the weeding tool to pull the other part, the extra, away from it. Because it looks like maybe the possibility of my my cutting blade on the Cricut is getting dull, which understandably I've cut quite a bit of vinyl with that blade today. Okay. Hi, Sissy. The dog, just not Brandy, Ariel, who is the Havanese, stuck her head around the corner saying, "Mom, are you coming out to feed us anytime soon?" Okay, so I am just having to, this might be a bigger project than I had hoped. Because it is not weeding very good. Okay. Sorry, I was concentrating. I apologize. Is anybody doing anything special for the holidays? You kind of heard my plans. We're not, I mean, once graduation is over, then we can probably take a deep sigh of relief, and then start focusing on, it seems to be the Y's and the U's that are giving me the most problem. Yeah, I think it's due to a dull blade, so I'm sorry, folks. I was hoping to be able to show you, if you want and you're patient, I can possibly get this weeded. It just seems to be, and there's a Y on a lot of these letters, unfortunately. So, okay. Oh, I see. Yeah, it didn't cut the Y at all on that one. Well. Okay. I may have to switch my blade. And cut a few words again. But if we are lucky, then we will get... I'm so close. I'm so close. I know this is no fun, and I'm sorry. You're staying at home for the holidays? Well, yeah, we are too. I'm like, that is... I'm gonna be like, stick a fork in me, I'm done. Okay. It's only in the life, folks, that things like this happen. Because I weeded 2 other sets without too much issue earlier today. Only this set that I need. Sweet. Oh, there's the L. Okay. All right. Hold on. I just gotta save the other part of my L. Nope, it's not gonna save. So it'll be another word that I'll... Okay, so this is what it ends up looking like. And then all you have to do is use your picker tool to kind of pull the centers of the letters out in order to get your... And because I'm using such small letters, okay, so let me pull one word, which I'm going to use a different L. Because that L did not. So I'll use the L of the Lord, and then I'll put the love down. You can see the black on it, on the white, and see kind of the idea. And then we can call her a day, because I'm gonna have to, and it takes a little bit to cut letters. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this in half, because I think it's going to be a little bit easier to manage with smaller letters. I'm sorry if I lost everybody. I know it's not fun, but okay. So I'm going to go in here and grab the L from the word Lord. And I'll cut these letters again with a new blade, because I am positive that that's what my problem is. All right, so I'm probably going to need to do, stay there. Need to do, let me get my ruler and let me erase the pencil that I put down for the white lettering, because some of it you can still see. And if I need to, I can come back and touch up the paint. Looks like a little bit of a smudge there from the eraser, but other than that, it looks pretty good. All right. Yeah, so I can, that's an easy touch up. Okay, so I have the L, and I need to, let's see if these letters are this, oh, perfect. So that's a good form of measurement. The letters are a little bit smaller than the thickness of my ruler, so that will help me kind of measure. I'm just real lightly, I'm not making a real heavy pencil mark, but I'm gonna start with the L, burnish it down. Okay, and let me grab, oh, I gotta take the, I gotta weed the E real quick so that we can put the word love down. And then you can kind of see what my thoughts are. We'll see if that, it's kind of taken off of the same thing, the word Christ, and then has risen, or he has risen, was in like script. I didn't want to put it in script because I wasn't sure by the time I put all of the letters down. I was worried about script fitting on this board. And I know that with just regular cut letters, you can kind of cheat a little bit with spacing. And use some of the graphic design tricks that I've learned. You can space your letters a little bit closer together. And then it gives you the ability to make room for everything. Okay. Let's see if we can get, oh, there you go. It's starting to come up. It just gotta... Okay, and I won't use the same spacing that it's cut out with, because I can cheat and give myself the space I need. So Here's the L-O-V, the O-V-E. And I'm just going to lay one letter down at a time so that I can move them closer together, because I have a lot of words that are going to have to go on here. Okay. And I am just keeping them on that pencil line just so that they're... I've done that before where I tried to do that without a pencil line and it went... So most definitely had to be removed. And so you can put your letters within a few inches together, and you'll see, I'll hold up the love here, because this is definitely closer together than the words were on the Cricut. Okay, let me put this paper down. Okay. So there's the love. And then you can see kind of in the shadowing of it, the Matthew 22:37. So when it's hanging on the wall, if you look at it just the right way, there you go. You look at it the right way, you'll see the Matthew 22:37. But you'll see the love your God with all of your heart, mind, and soul on this particular board, because that's the actual verse. All right. Do you clean the blade in a bowl? You know, I could. I haven't tried that before. I could certainly try and see if it works. I know a lot of times with vinyl, yeah, you get the gummy. I can look at it and see. I won't bore you by digging into the Cricut right now and pulling out the blade, but I could try it and see if it cuts. Because I still have it turned on, because if I turn it off, I lose all of those letters, and that it's a slow process of putting them in again. But I could try that and see if the blade just needs a little sharpening or cleaned off with the aluminum foil. Won't hurt. And then I could cut out, could try cutting it out and seeing if it works again. But okay, I am going to let you guys go. We are close to 2 hours, and I know the big thing here. Let's take a peek at our the resin project. Okay, so we're coming down over here. We're going to go over here where it's sitting on the tray, and let me see if it'll let me switch. How does it? There we go. There we go. There it is, sitting there in all its glory. It's looking pretty good. Oh, it looks like a little bit of my resin is dripping off. So I'll have to kind of clean that up, because I don't know if the resin dries on it, will it come off? I don't know. Does anybody know that? So it'll save on blades? Cool. Thank you for that tip. I appreciate it. All right. Well, Debbie, you'll have to go back and watch the replay for the actual resin, and I will send you guys, probably won't be today, but tomorrow I'll send you the link for the Amazon page, and we'll go from there and see what happens. So turn it back over, and I thank you guys. I guess I can offer a prayer up if anybody needs prayers tonight. If you have any prayer requests, I can do a prayer real quick if anybody needs one. If not, then we'll just wish you guys. Oh yeah, so you can see all my mess up there. This is all this way. So these books are my son's home like schoolwork over the years that I have put together. I just need to like cover the binders. And then these here are all of his scrapbooks that I had shared that one day. So yes, that's all up there. And one of these days I'll use it up, clean it up, and then I'll ship it out to him and he can store it all. Anyway. All right. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate you. I love you guys, and I wish you a blessed evening. God bless.